Alright, so starting off this countdown at number 10, we have possession. We were just talking about it. So I don't know which idiot would even do this, but never ask a demon to possess you. What?
But people actually do that. People do ask a demon to possess them.
Spirits just love possessing humans anyway, so the fact that some idiot would be dumb enough to actually invite them to do so is like a free pass. They will do it and you will lose your free will, as a spirit will literally live in you as you. You don't even know what entity you're dealing with on the other side. You could literally be asking Beelzebub to possess you and you'd have no one to blame but yourself.
I mean, in my opinion, it's pretty obvious to not ask the board about possession or for a spirit to possess you, but you'd be surprised about the number of people that actually ask these questions. Seriously, you think it's cool to start foaming at your mouth and have blood pouring out from your eyes as you start crawling on all fours? Nah, you are getting sent straight to an asylum where you will spend your life locked away.
I just don't like when they crawl on all fours. How do you do that with your, how do you do that? How do you do that? That's actually
their spine is like in half.
Oh,
like,
no.
I don't know how spirits do that.
Coming in at number 9 is illness. I don't know why I said it with a smile, but we're gonna go with it. Now, when you're communicating with spirits in the afterlife, a very common question anyone would want to ask is about their own health. I mean, they're ghosts. Surely they know more than we do. I mean, that's the least I expect. Now, you're there using the board hoping to find out if you're getting sick, if you're already sick, if someone you love is sick, or so on. And I get it. Why wouldn't you want to know in advance so you could prevent it? But multiple paranormal experts alike claim you shouldn't ask Ouija board questions regarding disease, illness, treatment, or anything like that, and they have good reason to think so. For one, the entity you could be talking to could have died in like 1864, meaning they have zero knowledge of modern healthcare practices and could probably misdiagnose you and tell you have like the bubonic plague when you really just have bronchitis. Secondly, the answer could stress you out and not even be true, and the stress would then weaken your immune system and get you sick, aka the whole thing would turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy. All in all, don't do it, lads. At number 8, we have the future, and believe me, we know how tempting it would be to ask a Ouija entity about your future. Like, I want to know so many things. When will I get married? To who? What will life be like? Will Trump ever get impeached? Etc. But you shouldn't do it. Things change all the time. The future isn't set in stone, so what could the entity even tell you? I mean, that honestly really depends on what you believe. Muslims believe that your life is pre-written, so there's a course your life is meant to follow, whereas others believe it's constantly changing.
And spirits may not have all the answers that we're looking for. I mean, I don't think they have harnessed the power of time travel. As a result, whatever answers you get from them, probably made up. Maybe they say something extremely terrifying, like that we all die from a big pandemic.
That's too close to home, Lindsay.
Sorry.
It's too soon to make those jokes.
Knowing this information would probably scare the crap out of you and drive you insane. Not only this, but maybe you will contact a demon that purposely wants to mess with your head. And so they will say some messed up things about the future just to scare you.
Like, I'm already battling with so many already internal demons, I don't need any more. You know what I mean? Goodbye.
Making our way down the list at number 7, we have the cause of death. When using a Ouija board, you are communicating with a once living soul. If you begin prying into their personal life, it may upset them, especially if you start asking questions about how they died. I think it's safe to say that they probably don't enjoy being dead, and so they will probably be very uncomfortable if you start asking them about it. Keep in mind, you're the living one and they aren't. They are jealous that you are still alive and that they are no longer. If you keep asking them questions about death, then they may become upset, and that's the last thing you want to do, make a spirit angry. How would you feel if you suffered a tragic death and next thing you know, a little 16-year-old named Brittany is fooling around with the board making jokes about your death? I know that would piss me off. And who knows what kind of abilities they have. Anger them enough and they could make you pay. This is exactly what happened to a group of friends. Apparently they summoned a spirit with the board and started asking intimate questions about their death. Next thing you know, the spirit knocked over a candle and that caught a bunch of paper towels on fire and half of the kids' living room got burnt down. So, just saying. Okay, now at number 6 are jokes. Now this one made me laugh before I even started talking about it, honestly, and I know I didn't do it, but in my head I did. Now look, I totally get it. You're sitting there, barbecue sauce on your titties, and you think to yourself, now I could wipe this sauce off, or I could just play with a Ouija board. You go with the latter, your friends are all over, barbecue sauce on their titties as well, and the one class clown in your group is feeling rather funny and thinks it's smart to start the session off with a joke. First of all, RIP, because that kid's getting possessed and killed first, but secondly, Ouija
entities cannot take a joke. They probably don't even know what a joke is. It's not in their purgatory vocabulary. All they know is death and suffering. Do you really think the entity is just gonna flicker the lights or something to signal to you that they laughed? No, they're gonna send a piece of window shard straight through your eye, mate.
I was just thinking of a ghost being like, ha. Honestly, exactly what she said. I mean, maybe they could do like a knock knock joke, but still, nothing is funny when it comes to the spirit world. It needs to be taken pretty seriously.
What if like the entity is trying to make a joke by like lighting something on fire or something? It's like, we have different definitions of humor.
Exactly.
This is not funny. Coming in at number 5 is murder. I understand that spirits and entities on the other side of the Ouija board kind of get a bad rep. We've seen the movies, we've heard the stories. Hell, I did like a 5-part series on Ouija boards that destroyed lives, so believe me when I say these spirits are not received well. But the one cardinal rule of Ouija boards, other than always closing your session, is to never ask the entity if they're going to kill you. Firstly, it's bloody rude. You can't just generalize all Ouija spirits and assume the one you're talking to is evil and full of bloodlust. Spirits have feelings too, and some are actually nice. Some just want to talk. Like, how about you ask them how their day was for once? Purgatory sucks. Okay, sorry. I digress. This question could also be viewed as disrespectful towards a spirit, which could anger them and make them overstay their welcome. Or if they weren't planning to kill you before, they probably are now, so adios, amigo.
Coming in at number 4 is the spirit's presence. There's a lot of people out there that want to witness paranormal activity firsthand. We like to call these people crazies. No, I'm just kidding. I understand where they're coming from.
No, I would shit myself.
Like, in order to make up their mind about whether or not ghosts are real, they kind of need to experience it firsthand. But whatever you do, do not ask a spirit to show themselves or to make noise. There's way too many scary movies out there where this happens and they are greeted with a terrifying pop-up of a disfigured face. So, do you really want to see that?
Definitely not. I would for sure defecate on the spot. Now, sometimes a spirit isn't malevolent and shows you it's there by opening a door or manifesting a gust of wind, but most spirits are dark and will manifest by possessing your friend or throwing the board against the wall. They're already answering your questions by moving the planchette. You don't need to disrespect them further by being like, oh, can you just confirm you're real and not a myth? Cheers.
Coming in at number 3, we have don't ask about Zozo. If you are new to the spirit realm, you may be wondering, Lindsay, who or what is Zozo? Well, Zozo is a sinister demon that is known to harm or trick Ouija board players. Zozo has been linked to murders and suicides all throughout the world. He has caused mental and physical harm to players, and in one situation, he was responsible for the near death of a young kid. Zozo will often wait until the players are vulnerable and then he will harm them. He may also pretend to be a friendly spirit, will try to befriend you, and then trick and harm you. In fact, some players who contacted Zozo have been subjected to extreme bad luck, and others have become very depressed. So I recommend never asking questions about Zozo, like, can I speak to Zozo? Trust me, you don't want to mess around with this demon.
Now, at number 2 is how you're going to die. Now, I've thought about this question so much. Like, would I want to know how I'm gonna die? Like, of course, on one hand, I'd like to know because then I could spend the rest of my life preparing for it, because not gonna lie, I'm terrified of dying. On the other hand, I'd rather not know, so it's not like a cloud hanging over my head for the rest of my life. I already have the depression cloud, I don't need another one. The reason you should never ask a Ouija spirit about your death is simply because they may not know, or the answer could change. Would you ask?
No, are you crazy?
I would want to know.
No, I wouldn't want to know. I'd be like huddled in a corner like,
save me.
So let's say the board tells you that you're gonna die in a car crash. Well, wouldn't that make you terrified of driving? You get in your car every day wondering what day is going to be your last. It could cause you to become overly anxious or overly cautious. Either way, you would be fearing for your life daily. And in our number 1 spot, we have the death date. Listen carefully when I say this, okay? Never, and I mean never, under any circumstance, ask the board when you're going to die. I mean, that seems like a given, but you wouldn't believe the number of people that ask the board this question. So, for starters, who even wants to know the day they're going to die? I certainly don't. But anyways, it's safe to say that you would be scared out of your mind if the board told you that you were going to die soon. Not only that, but maybe the spirit is an evil one that will try and manipulate you with this date so that you purposely fear for your life. Over on Reddit, there are tons of concerned posts from people who were told that they only had a month left to live. They were too scared to go outside and continue to live a normal life. It completely ruined their life for a month. month. Not only that, but you could create a self-fulfilling prophecy and die on the date that the board said you would. This happened to one man. He was told he had only a couple weeks left to live and he became super ill. He felt sick all the time and did pass away on the exact date, but he died from dehydration and malnutrition. He just wasn't caring for himself properly, and that's why he died. Starting off this countdown at number 10, we have Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare is a sleepover classic, but it's one to only play with living people. Maybe you're tired of the innocent conversations with the Ouija board and want to, spice things up a bit. So you decide to play Truth or Dare. Two things might happen. One, they pick truth and everything goes wrong. Or two, they pick dare and everything goes wrong. Like seriously, what if they dare you to do something dangerous? If you don't do it, most likely they won't stop terrorizing you until you do. Anybody seen the movie Truth or Dare with Lucy Hale? Yeah, I'm thinking stuff like that will happen. You don't do the truth or dare and they will kill you.
That movie was trippy as hell. And what makes you guys so sure the entity will even be telling the truth? They literally have nothing to lose from lying or telling the truth. And if I was them, I would definitely just mess around just for fun. If I'm stuck in some boring ass afterlife, I may as well have some fun with it, And there's only so many things you can dare the entity to do. Like there's only so many times it can make the light flicker or the air around you cold, or it could literally just end you because it started playing its own game. No one knows.
It's true.
Coming in at number 9 is the devil. I don't know why I said that with a big smile on my face, but whatever. Under no circumstances should you ever be dumb enough to ask a Ouija entity about the devil. There is a reason these spirits never crossed over or went into the light. They're being kept on earth as punishment in purgatory by the devil most likely. Do you really want to ask an entity that can take you out no problem about the ever-powerful devil that ruined their afterlife? No, you don't. That's just adding insult to injury. You may as well just rub salt in their non-existent wounds. That's like asking someone who got murdered about their murderer, like, what were they wearing? What were they like? Were they good looking, menacing? You're asking to be possessed at that point, or at least thrown against a wall. Have some common courtesy, people. Ouija entities have feelings too. The devil is a major no-go. Not now, not ever. It is so risky. Like the entity you're speaking to could be hella dangerous already. And then you want to go on top of that and talk about the daddy of all sin and evil. Nah, B, that's not me.
Moving on to number 8, we have the friendship. Okay, so I understand maybe you're lonely in quarantine. You can't see your friends, you're locked away in your house, and all you want is someone to pass the time with. But whatever you do, please don't ask the spirits if they want to be your friend. Sure, you two could chill out together, but most likely something will go wrong. Okay, so let's say that you do manage to contact a pleasant spirit and they really do want to be your friend. Well, what happens when you don't pay attention to them every day? You just brought a spirit into our world and aren't spending time with it. Hello, you're gonna hurt their feelings, and they probably will become aggressive if they see you hanging out with other people and not them. Ghosts are very territorial like that. On the other hand, if you contact an evil spirit, do you know what that means? The dude's going to pretend to be your friend, then try to possess you or harm you when you least expect it. So don't ask to be friends. You aren't going to summon Casper the Friendly Ghost, I can assure you that. In our 7th spot, we have the dumb questions. Want to know another way to annoy spirits? Just bombard them with dumb questions. Seriously, this board is no joke. It needs to be taken seriously. But if you fool around and torment the spirits or make fun of them, then you're just asking for trouble. Like seriously, imagine trying to sleep and someone keeps ringing your doorbell saying things like, oh my god, why don't arm or leg hairs have split ends? Like stupid questions like that.
But why don't they have split ends? I never actually thought of that.
I don't know. I guess they're not thick enough.
That would also be weird.
And they're not, I know, can you imagine like a big long hair?
Yeah. Split, just like take it out.
No.
Anyway, on the flip side, I completely understand why people would turn towards asking dumb questions. They may be too scared to delve into deeper questions, either fearing for the answer or fearing the entity itself. So to compensate, they just ask casual dumb questions, which again isn't gonna end well because the spirit's gonna be like, you summoned me for this. How to waste my time at 2K20. Now at number 6 is swearing. Do I even have to say this? Surely this is common sense. I feel like this is a thing that occurs more with non-believers and skeptics that try and play play with a Ouija board. They don't take it seriously because they think nothing bad will happen to them and then start faffing about and spelling out a swear word within their question. In what way, shape, or form, or even plane of existence would that go down well? But I'm trying to put my faith in humans and give them the benefit of the doubt by just assuming this almost exclusively happens when someone is inebriated and playing with a Ouija board. Also, something you should never do, never ask them questions when you're drunk or on other drugs, which I have never done.
We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the deceased. Okay, so let's say that you ignored everything that Eamon and I have been telling you and you decide to play with the board anyways. One thing you should not ask is to speak with the dead. Maybe you want to try and contact Uncle Tom or Great Aunt Becky to, like check in and see what it's like in the afterlife. No! Leave your relatives alone and focus on your current life. Demons can trick you by pretending to be the person that you want to get in contact with. You may ask them questions that only your relatives would know just to prove that it's them. But guess what? Demons are tricksters. They can find out the answers to these questions. So you may think you're communicating with old Grandma Gertrude when in reality you're talking to freaking Zozo or the devil himself. And as soon as people think that they're talking to a friendly spirit, they let their guard down. That's exactly when demons sweep in and harm you. Coming in at number 4, we have the hard-hitting questions. So there are tons of questions out there that you probably want to know the answers to. Like at a movie theater, which armrest is yours?
Both of them.
Seriously, no.
Both of them.
No, but how do you know? Like, is it just kind of like I'll take the left and then you take the left?
I go with what my dominant arm is. So if I'm right-handed, so I'll be like,
True.
I'll just push them out of the way. You just have to dominate.
I don't know, I feel awkward, but it's like, why are you sitting so close when there's so many seats around? People just like to sit right next to me and there's like whole rows and I'm like, can
just
you
breathe your air? Yeah. It's like, can you not?
It's a good movie, isn't it? I digress. Or did the brain name itself? It did. Or is my husband cheating on me with a younger woman?
Most likely.
Seriously, all legit questions we want the answers to. But there are some that are better left unanswered. So don't ask questions that you aren't ready to hear the answers to. Take that cheating question for example. If the board said yes, your husband or wife or partner is cheating on you, how would that make you feel? Pretty crappy, right?
And you'd have no one to blame for that crappiness but yourself since you literally asked for it. And again, I totally understand the appeal. You're communicating with an all-knowing entity that could answer all your burning questions, but they also have no reason or motivation to answer truthfully about any of your questions. So okay, what if they did say yes to the cheating question? You confront your partner, you're so adamant you're right because the Ouija board said so, you end up getting divorced, your life is in ruins, it goes to Turns out the spirit was lying all along.
Played a trick on you. Now who's the fool? You are.
You are. Filling at number 3 star is asking if they're a demon. Now, not every spirit you communicate with when playing with a Ouija board is gonna be a demon. I think the most likely scenario is talking to a ghost, and I get that they're less scary than demons, but honestly not by much. Demons are evil. Never forget, masters of manipulation, demons can make you do whatever they want without you even knowing you're doing it for them. Why ask the entity if it's a demon? What can you even do if it says yes? It's literally stronger than you and you can't even see it. Are you gonna shit yourself and run for the hills? Are you gonna have small chit chat with it? No, you're gonna end that session and hope it hasn't already got its hooks in you. Most demons will lie and become friends with you just so you trust them. Then they'll control you and use you as a puppet out of sheer boredom. Do you want to be a demon's plaything? No, you're better than that, Damon. Demon questions are a no-no. I don't know who Damon is, I just randomly made up that name.
Moving on to number 2, we have revenge. In life, chances are you will get done dirty by multiple people. That sounds really wrong. Okay, lots of people will do you wrong. Still sounds really bad. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they deserve a cruel punishment, right? Unless they did cheat on you. No, I'm just kidding. So when you're playing with the board, don't ask a spirit to help you get revenge on someone you don't like. This could go wrong a number of ways. The first one being that spirits may not just get a little revenge. They may make the person get into a fatal car crash or push them down the stairs and leave them permanently paralyzed. Not only that, but they don't do these favors for free. They aren't a charity. So if they help you out with something, chances are they'll want something in return. And who knows what that might be? Haven't you all heard about the saying, don't make a deal with the devil? Who knows what they will do to you in exchange?
And finally, at number 1, we have the other side. Never under any circumstance ask a Ouija spirit to show you the other side or bring you there. It's called the other side for a reason. It's way over there and we don't need to be there. Any spirit or entity you communicate with isn't on the other side by choice. They're stuck there as punishment for whatever reason. So it's definitely not going to be the rainbows and butterflies utopia you imagined in your head. The entity could also trick you just to escape themselves. They could bring you to the other side and swap places with you by either leaving you there and stepping into the real world themselves or possessing your human body while your spirit and soul are just stuck on the other side. Goodbye.
Seriously, who wants to see what goes on over there after hours? No one does. No matter how curious you are, don't ask to be brought there or don't ask what it's like. It's not sunshine and roses, I can tell you that much. I know you're curious, but curiosity killed the cat. Just saying, just saying.
The dead cat's probably on the other side as well.
And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shout out portion.
We'll be shouting out comments from our video, Top 10 Scary Questions to Never Ask a Ouija Board.
The first part to this series.
Okay, this one is from Amir, I think. Wow, deadass my favorite 2 hosts.
Oh, I'm flattered. Thank you.
So
I'm also so awkward when I receive a compliment. I'm like, oh, thank you. You're so sweet. And I do these like weird things with my hands.
And your voice goes up like 3 octaves.
Really high. Oh, thank you. We both did it too. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, DC Comics Central says, oh my god, my 2 favorite hosts together. This is seriously a dream come true. Lindsay and Eamon, you 2 are so beautiful and amazing. Please can you do more videos together? We are.
We are. We have more collabs in the future. So
coming up. Stay tuned.
Ooh.
Push that notification.
Ring the little bell. Ding a ding ding. Yeah. To get notified. And there's a collab.
This one is savage. Monty Davis asked, when did Hassan become pregnant? Firstly,
That's so rude.
the disrespect. Firstly, that's not even how you spell my last name. And secondly, everyone gained a little quarantine weight, okay? I'm not pregnant, I'm just working on it, okay? Sometimes you order too many Uber Eats for like 3 months. Deal with it,
That's
Monty.
so rude though.
I'm blocking you out of my life.
Patricia Gugino commented, I saw this thing about how Ouija boards are intended use for 8 years plus. So you need to be a legal adult to drink, but only 8 years old to summon a freaking demon? It's true. Unlike the little Walmart boxes, it says recommended 8 plus.
What? Do 8-year-olds even know what a demon is?
I don't even know like what. I don't even know.
No,
Don't
no,
do it, because then they're
no.
gonna do it by accident and actually summon something, and they're not even gonna know it.
And then your child's literally gonna be Lucifer, and you
Yeah.
won't even know.
That's scary. Sarah Smith commented, why can't ghosts take a joke? Jokes have been around since the beginning of time. Also, what if you're contacting a comedian? That's a good question. I would love to contact like a comedian and just
joke around.
just
with
joke
them.
around the whole time.
But then you're gonna think they're trustworthy, but they're not. They're gonna
Yeah.
stab you in the back with a
I
joke.
don't know. Medium-sized Dave commented, at 18 seconds, the one on the right looks like a mom who's trying too hard to be cool and hip. Can't remember her name. I don't know who he's referring to.
I was on
because
the right, was I not?
You were on the right if they're watching the video, but I was actually on the right, like
but they
on
don't
my
know
right.
that. They don't know that.
So then
Did you just
look-
include a hate comment for me? They already called me pregnant. Now I'm a mom who's trying too hard.
I always get the like mom references. Somebody called me a Karen. Somebody said I look and sound like one, but I don't act like
That's
one.
rude.
That's what they said.
Lindsay's not Karen.
I'm not a Karen.
And I'm
okay?
not a mom.
Stop it. Let me speak to your manager.
Yeah.
'Cause I am not a Karen.
And I am cool and hip. And my name is Eamon.
But I love how his name was like, what is it? Medium size?
Medium-sized Dave. What does that mean?
He's like, you know what? I'm not small.
I'm not particularly
I'm not
large.
big. I'm in the middle, so you know, my name's Dave, so yeah, medium size.
Medium-sized Dave.
And that's all the comments we're showing out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in our next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan.
I've been Eamon Hassan, and we'll catch you next time.
I'll see you when I see ya. Bye.
Usually things work with my name.
I
Like you just
know.
put the beginning of your name. I'm sorry.
Like Chaman sounds good.
Chaman, yeah. I'm
But-
sorry, Lindsay.
What did you say?
Linsman?
Linsman's not that bad.
Linsman's not bad. It's better than layman.
Yeah.
On the flip side, oh my god, I need to fart so bad. I'm sorry, Lindsay.
Good thing there's this glass protecting it. No, never mind. The fumes are just gonna
It's
like
gonna permeate
seep
right
under.
through. Sorry, okay, I put it in. Okay, the spirit's gonna be like, you summoned me for this. How to waste my time, 2K20. Literally every boy on any dating app. Literally waste my time.
We did it at the same time. We're like,
You have to clear your throat before you start speaking.
true. All right.
Okay.
And that's all the comments for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shout out
You
portion.
just said that's all the comments for today's video.
Oh, my bad.